at the wood's edge. This is possibly the most depressing poem I've ever written. Since morning, deep in stillness, waiting at the wood's edge, I watch as the day passes on. Midwinter daylight marks fallen snow, filling between shadows of unleaved trees. Jointed grave wonders gliding an infernal procession, blind and slow toward day's end. As strips of crooked shade fall in fell quiet moving over me, I feel them match my bones with twisted limbs, searching my white skin to probe with leafless black fingers and root its dark analog. The cold shade falls away unappeased, leaving dead late. That was then. This is now. Meditation of a starling. What traffic? The humans have lost the way of making paths by coming and going, by finding a safe line through the forest. They're crawling in their metal skins because they tear up the road to make it better. No one to cast stones, a scruffy starling far from open fields. I'm looking for food, roadside of concrete barriers, flipping butts, fluff and burlap, anything I could work down my throat, anything organic, muddy or not. I need stones for my craw, but I eat best in alleys where dogs run and fat raccoons tip trash bins for dinner. People laugh when I mock the city sounds, garbage trucks, car alarms, and their voices. I can conquer the evils I can name. If I didn't burn through food quite so fast, I'd spend more time thinking, figuring out what purpose is, what to aim for beyond breeding, an end worth puffing my feathers, nesting in holes, staying out in the rain. Catching the eye of a driver heading north, I see weary recognition. He thinks in a glimpse he understands me so well. Exiled from England, searching for food, trapped by concrete steel and grinding hunger, how I shadow his own bitter lot here on the highway, the lot of all people. Neither knows if we can see each other or take the mirror's illusion for real. Once I chewed rusty iron rods, hoping they'd fix my compass, turn my yellow beak, guide me home. But I forgot what home is, a here, not a there. This slow road and life of the steel-skinned wizard, as he will learn, are ways to move here to another here. On the way downtown, today I feel loose. A mongrel marble in a matchbox rattling around at the whim of a drunk who used his last match looking for the apartment label of a friend so old he'd have forgotten the bitter words that sounded the end of his interest in strung-out despair. A jobless old white guy on the L gone underground, back to school to rummage through the lost and found, looking for a new career. A warrior with a wounded hip wandering across the grassland, tracking buffalo grazing upwind on prairie gardens lush from spring rains, concentration broken by hard wheels cornering on steel rails. Public announcements of stops, police whistles, and howling taxis, playing coyote in the cities, grabbing hapless patrons, stripping the meat off their wallets and spitting them out in Old Town, the Miracle Mile, or the Gold Coast. A fisherman with a moldy net walking the wharf past stacks of containers, yearning for the smell of soaked decking oiled with the slime of flopping, hungry salmon, and getting the sideways slice of machine oil and diesel exhaust. Even the gulls wear splotchy gray, resting on their way to the landfill. And a backhoe dreaming of buried treasure and Little League triumphs while digging graves at Rose Hill off Western and Bryn Mawr, rushing to see the first pitch of a doubleheader at Wrigley where history promises nothing. 11/11, meaning November 11th. This is not my day. This would be my father's. He was the veteran of foreign war. He stood behind the counter in England passing out high-energy bars to the real pilots who'd get shot at day after day until they went down in flames or crashed in a French vineyard or drowned in the Channel or dropped enough bombs on Dresden to vaporize conscience while turning people into shadow on walls too hard to burn. Somebody had to do it. Stand there and pass out parachutes and other paraphernalia. I suppose he did it well. Things like that he always did well. When he came home in 46, the first thing they all noticed was the 50 pounds he put on, standing there behind the counter, idle until the remnant sortie finished, brought back the kit and caboodle they didn't have to use. Movies have helped us understand glory, honor, disillusion, how to carry shame lightly under a patina of swagger and duty. Don't let them drag you down. Everyone there was necessary. They would have put him back in the cockpit if a loaded fighter was ready but lacking a steady pilot, too many lost to Messerschmitts, anti-aircraft guns, and flak. He never got the chance. 15,000 Allied pilots went down, and he was still at the back of the line. He never talked about flying or the divine crosswind that kept him from landing 3 times that blustery English day that blew him into the rest of a long life. I must have heard these stories from my mother. I don't remember not knowing them. He had no interest in my 2nd grade scrapbook on planes, or the shoulder patches I kept in a box, or the gas mask and cloth helmet I bought at the Army-Navy store, or the reasons why I would have gone to Canada if I'd passed the Army physical in '68, or why I ached for the warriors living and dead, lost to the bidding of older men who've lost the divine gift of talking in the place of fighting.